All right. I said about yeah, so we just
We
watched
should have a
Super
score.
Mario Brothers movie from was it
Nine.
1993 with
Yeah, I think so.
Mario played by Bob Hoskins, rest in peace, and then Luigi played by John Leguizamo. So we do have a special guest, Steph, who unfortunately wasn't here throughout the whole movie, only saw maybe like 30 minutes of it, maybe. But yeah,
Hi.
so let's start off. Ness, what do you think of the movie? And I guess since the movie's so old, let's just talk about spoilers too, because let's be honest, who hasn't seen
Yeah,
this movie?
yeah. Um, I ironically love this movie. Like, well, not love. I like this movie. It's stupid. It's silly, but it has a certain charm to it, and the world's cool. Like, I like Bob Hoskins as Mario. I like John Leguizamo as Luigi. Dennis Hopper's Cooper is he he eats the scene. He's so over the top, overacts, but he's so fun. Um, Honestly, yes, it's dumb. Yes, it's corny, but it's a lot of fun.
All right, Gore.
Oh boy, do I have some thoughts on this fucking movie. Okay, so the beginning was like, oh my god, like I get it, cause like that's how I talk to a girl too. But that dialogue with him in the beginning was so fucking cringe. Like I was legit cringing. It was so fucking bad. Oh my god. And like, cause like the first half of the movie is just cringe on top of cringe on top of cringe, and it's just like once you get to like the second half of the movie where like they're in the like the Mario world and like the fucking Mushroom Kingdom and shit starts happening, then it gets good, and like things get like a bit better when he's not like as awkward. Like that said, the fucking villain was uh was a delightful mess. Big Bertha, best part of the fucking movie, no question down. 10 out of 10. Childhood crush. Big Bertha, best thing in the movie.
You're disgusting.
Like, don't you think shaming, bitch?
Chuck.
The because the practical effects were really good. Like Yoshi actually looked pretty decent, and the Goombas, like, granted they don't look like Goombas, they still looked. It was a good effect. Um, but the non practical effects definitely didn't hold up. Uh, what else? Like there was like some cool stuff in there too, and they had like some cool stuff. Like they could have put like a little bit more Easter egg, like just getting the freaking clothing color right. Even when they did got the overalls on, the colors were freaking reversed.
Technically, in the first Mario, Super Mario game, it was reversed.
Uh, but
Yes.
never mind then. I'm an
Yeah.
idiot.
And the other thing too is like at least the colors they chose were like the different outfits of like the specialties.
I liked the
Yeah.
outfits. I liked the fact that they're in different outfits for
The
like the
costume
majority
design
of
was
it.
good.
I'm glad that it wasn't like always the same outfits, that actually things
Yeah.
changed in the world.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the costume design was good. I'm just saying they could have been a little bit Easter eggy with the outfits. But that's like a minor gripe, I guess. But like it was still fun once you get past the cringy first half of the movie. It actually it becomes a pretty fun, entertaining romp. It's not Oscar contender or anything. Like no one's expected to be, but like it had some good moments, and they do have some good Easter eggs. Like obviously the Babam that I'm pretty sure had a freaking brand deal. Like I saw it when it was like walking up. It was I don't think it was Adidas. It was like a freaking shoe brand on the bottom of the Babam when it was climbing up. They did when they put like shot the rocket at him. It was a bullet bill. So that was pretty cool. So there was some like cool Easter eggs in there. But yeah, very cringy first half. Better second half. It was it was a time. I'll give you that. It was a time. Those are my thoughts.
Chunk.
Uh, I got two words: cringe and nostalgic. All right. It was pretty cool how they made a couple references, and I like how they did their own take on it in a modern world setting with different dimensions and how the Koopas are perceived instead of the game. It,
Yeah.
I really didn't like it. It just didn't sit well with me. Uh, Of course, this is like a couple decades, right? No, 2 decades
Nice voice crack.
back. Yeah, shut up. Right.
Almost 3.
3.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So old.
Like, of course, it's no like award-winning movie or anything like that. Like, but it was still enjoyable somewhat. I mean, I really don't know what else to say besides that.
All right, Steph. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I liked the elevator scene. The Goomba elevator scene was pretty interesting. It was cute. Um, so from where I started was with, I guess, the main character talking to one of the other characters who was also the main character about um, being a little girl and making out with lizards was very interesting to come into after cooking dinner. So I didn't really know how to feel about that. So definitely cringe. But honestly, from what I saw, I love B movies. I'm a very hardcore uh, person. Where the more terrible the movie is, the better it is for me. Just because it's just like if you think about people who make and do content today, it's pretty cringe until they know how to actually do the content or make a video. So videos like this I think are very cool. One shot I did get to see though that I really enjoyed were the cop cars because you know me and cars, I love my cars, and when they had the giant police in the front of these like bulldozer like looking front ends, I giggled. I giggled a lot.
Yeah.
Sadly, I didn't get to see much of it because you know me, I'm always busy. But
Yes.
I really, really enjoy. I really enjoyed the little bits and pieces I was able to catch and watch with you guys, and I appreciate it. So I give it an 8 because honestly, back in that day, it was very hard to make movies, and the fact that they did everything almost without CGI is, hats off to them.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go now. Like, I kind of agree. Like, the movie was fucking bad, but
It
it's a
was.
good bad because, yeah, it may not have followed Super Mario, but how are you gonna follow a video game made in like the early like 90s,
It is.
80s,
It
whatever?
is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they have to interpret it somehow. Like most people
Yeah.
back then didn't even know Mario had a story, so it's like the fact that they had to come up with something. Like it could have been worse. Like
Hmm.
I do like the practical effects in the movies. The movie's practical effects is great. Obviously, this is the time before CGI, and there was a little bit of it. But to be honest, I'd rather have a movie with practical effects where it's a guy in a costume than just some fucking dude in a green suit.
Exactly. Yeah, I do agree with that.
Oh, and for your comment, this isn't a B movie. This was a Hollywood blockbuster when it came out. This
Yeah.
wasn't
Well,
like
it feels like a B movie.
yes, but I mean overall, like it was fucking great. I mean, how are you gonna be bad? It's Mario.
Well,
And then
that and at the time, it's probably like the best thing on the market. Like if I lived in that time, I would have loved this because of how much I loved playing Mario as a kid. That if I was born in that time when it actually came out and I was able to watch this movie, I probably would have been like, oh, "This is the best thing ever." Did you see like the realisticness of it? And like, oh my god, did you see the fact that like this is the way that Goombas looked if they lived in like this time and like how they grew and yeah, I
Yeah,
probably would have
'cause
been completely different.
I felt because I saw this when it came out. Wait, I would have been 3, but I when I was a kid, I saw it and I was blown away. The effect I was blown away was by the Yoshi effect, and I'm glad that they actually incorporated the tongue. Like watching it back, like oh, they did put the tongue in there, and the fact that he eats things. But like when I was a kid, I was blown away by that Yoshi effect. That was like top-notch effects for me when I was a kid. And um like it that effect like holds up well, like the mushrooms and stuff holds up well. Like all the practical stuff like actually look pretty good still. So like that was like that impressed me.
Also, this movie was released in 1993, so I would have been 2. No way in heck I would have watched this.
Yeah, I know it was very. I was probably wasn't 3 when I watched, but it probably was like 5 or
You were young.
like yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the fact that this movie, like, okay, story wise, it's ass. Well, the fact that like the practical effects like held up,
Yeah,
and like
they're good effects.
and even back then, like they had the foresight to do like Easter eggs. Because now it's like you watch movies, it's like there's Easter eggs everywhere in like any of the
Yeah.
Marvel movies or anything. But then you watch this, the fact that like, oh hey, if you actually do somewhat know about the games, you know, like, oh, that's a bomb, that's, you know, King Koopa. These are
Well,
supposed.
and with
That's a bullet
the
bill.
with the shoes they wore to jump, they were called thwomps, right? So it's like they did actually actually did incorporate stuff from the games. They just put their own spin on it. That's the thing. I think a lot of people miss that element of the movie. Sure, it's like it is different from the games because you know how are you gonna make a Mario Brothers movie, especially in the '90s, were like, oh well, this game doesn't really have a plot, you know.
Yeah.
So they kind of like, well, let's kind of make it this way. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It clearly doesn't because I got panned and that it probably bombed. So because they didn't make a second one. But for what it is and what it tries to do, I'm happy it's its own thing rather than just being like adaptation. Because if you look at other video game movies of the time, like I haven't seen the '90s Mortal Kombat movie, but I know of it. Like how it was like trying to be like the games, but wasn't like gory. It kind of felt like a neutered version of Mortal Kombat. Well, this was like a own thing with Mario Brothers. Like, okay, let's take elements of the game and just make it like kind of wacky and dystopian future. And like, sure, Koopa wasn't this like lizard monster till the end, but he was. I feel like if this was to come out now, you kind of understand why, because Bowser is kind of a goofy villain. One thing I will say about this movie, like I said, I liked the portrayal of Mario, I liked the portrayal of Luigi as well, and Koopa, because they kind of fit what their characters are now. How Bowser's a bit goofy, how Mario is a bit like the cranky older brother, and Luigi's like the young naive. I feel like it's kind of in the tone with like the games now.
Agreed.
Yep.
And how Luigi secretly gets the girl and Mario's just over there.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, even in the games, Luigi gets Daisy and Mario gets Peach. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no Peach here.
yeah, there is no Peach. So
Why didn't they name Mario's girlfriend Pauline?
Oh, yeah, the mayor, right?
Well, you know Donkey Kong, right? Like when
Pauline! Was her name Pauline?
no, it was Daniela.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Because he did have like in the OG Donkey Kong, he was legit. He was the main character of the OG Donkey Kong, and he was literally trying to save his girlfriend from Donkey Kong.
Yeah, so
So that's probably what that's a reference to. I'm surprised he didn't.
the president didn't do that.
Missed
Well,
opportunity,
you
I'll
never
tell you.
know. Well, or it just might be about Daisy this round instead of Peach, because it's always about Peach.
Well,
There could be like so many different reasons to why she wasn't in this like movie. Like for
Well-
instance, she could still be in in a different dimension somewhere, or
so-
Maybe that's what they're gonna do in the sequel.
So no, here's
Yeah.
the thing. Here's the thing. So this is Mario Trevor. In 19 like when Mario Brothers came, like the first Super Mario Brothers came out, Peach was Toadstool in North America. She was Peach in Japan. And then the first Mario game to name drop a princess with like a first name besides Toadstool was Super Mario Land, which they actually took a lot of game elements from different games. Like they did the original Super Mario Brothers, like 3 world because of Yoshi. Like that's the thing. A lot of people aren't seeing like they're taking elements from each main like Mario at the time. That's why Daisy is named Daisy because Mario Land the Game Boy was out, and they probably thought like, oh, okay, this princess is named Daisy, so we'll have a Princess Daisy in the movie. Even though it's not the matter, Peach didn't exist technically till Mario 64, which came out like years later. That's the thing, right? Like,
Well,
yeah, Peach was. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the other thing too. It's like everyone has memories of like Mario now versus back then, like how you were saying. But the other thing too is like this wasn't made by people directly working with people at Nintendo. This was Nintendo was working with someone else who was contracting the movie company. So like there's a lot of things in the movie too that just kind of don't make sense because it was probably either lost in translation or lost in the thing of like, hey, what's this in the game? Ask Nintendo. Oh, we can't reach anybody at Nintendo. Oh, okay, well I guess we'll just fill in our own blank. That's what I feel like.
So originally, Princess Daisy is technically sort of the first princess. Princess Peach was renamed as Toadstool in the American release of the early games in the Mario franchises.
Yeah.
Except Super Mario Land had a
Mario
different.
Land had Daisy.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So
Resulting in some enemies getting a second English name, such as like Princess Peach being named Princess Daisy. So it was kind of like a mix-up, where in line Princess Daisy was Princess Peach. Princess Peach was also Toadstool, and like it was just a mix-up between like the American version and the Japanese version, and like the difference between who they said it was and us being like, oh, this is who it is, and it kind of being wrong, but also kind of being right. So I think that's why Daisy was originally in this movie than Peach.
Well, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if they save a princess at the end.
Exactly. They save a princess, it's a princess.
Yeah. So do we want to give our ratings?
Yeah, okay.
I gave it an 8. I liked it.
8. Ness?
Again, it's stupid. You can kind of just leave your brand at the door. Don't expect like a 1-to-1 adaptation. Take it as its own thing. I give it a 6. Like it's stupid. It's fun. Watch.
4.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to give it a 6 as well because it's so fucking cringe. It's so fucking cringe. But yeah, I'll give it a 6. It's still like cringe, but it still has like fun moments. They're for the best part of the movie. And yeah,
Junk?
they're good stuff.
I'll give it a 6. Like everybody else said, it was stupid, but there were some good moments. There were some good moments, but it's stupid overall.
Damn, everybody's giving it a 6. I'm over here giving it an 8. The only reason why I give it an 8, though, is just because of the way they did everything. So I'm not looking at it as a perspective of character build. I'm not looking at the perspective of, does this go along with the games? Me personally, I look at how they created movies, especially back in the day, because there's a lot more that went into these movies than it is today. You can sit behind a computer real quick, snap out a few things, you've got a movie. Back then, you had to get everybody in costume, you had to make sure that the characters could move correctly, see correctly, things like that. And that's why I give it an 8, because from what I saw, they did a really good job. They did a wonderful job, especially with like the little lizard people and the dinos everywhere. Like I really enjoyed that. And then like the rocket feet were pretty cool too.
Yeah.
That's why I give it an 8.
I guess I'm gonna have to give it. I'm gonna give it a 6 too. Obviously it's Mario. Fucking love it. The actors are great. As weird as they were, story was pretty good. I mean, it was bad, but it was also good at the same time. Cheesy. It's a cheesy movie that you can watch with people. So I give it a 6. So pretty much the overall score that we're all giving this is 6. Steph is the only outlier giving it an 8, which for good reasoning. But yeah, I guess that was our review of the Super Mario Brothers movie. Kind of wish they would make a new one, modern day one.
I
And
think that would be great.
Illumination's technically making one.
a lot good live action one though, or a one that's just as campy as this.
Yeah.
Because honestly, we need more campy movies like this now.
Mhm.
But
I hope they dress up the same way in the little plumber outfits because those were absolutely adorable.
Mhm.
they just need the letters on the hat, and then it would have been perfect.
Yes, agreed.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. If you watch this review, we'll catch you next time. We're probably gonna do another dumb movie or so.
No, we're doing Spider-Man
Bye.
next.
Is it
Bye.
tempting to do Mortal Kombat as well?
Man.
I'm down for Mortal Kombat.
Oh god.